People often argue with me about the superstitions surrounding paramedics. They claim that paramedics are too rational and calm to engage with anything irrational. But as an EMT with 4 generations of family in emergency medical services, I know better. My parents worked for decades as paramedics, and I've heard countless tales that reveal the truth. We are a superstitious lot. It's not that they doubt my expertise in medical emergencies. They do defer to my knowledge in that area. Yet, when it comes to superstitions, skepticism creeps in. I think it makes them uneasy to imagine that the person who could save their life might believe in ghosts or avoid shifts on a full moon. So I dropped the subject, but I know some paramedics do stay away from full moon shifts. Growing up, my parents shared folklore about EMS. They warned us never to say the Q word on shift and that the full moon brings chaos. Sleep was a luxury you couldn't expect, and if you ran out of supplies, you were sure to need them on the next call. Dining in while on duty? Forget it. You'd be called out before finishing your meal. These stories weren't meant to scare us. They were cautionary tales. Then there were the little white coffin stories. They functioned like grim fairy tales, warning us of dangers, like not hanging upside down on monkey bars or riding bikes alone. My mom would explain each rule with a story about a child who suffered a tragic fate, emphasizing the need for caution. These tales were morbid but effective. I survived childhood without swallowing bouncy balls or wandering too far from home. As I grew older, the stories evolved. My parents warned me about the dangers of dark cities and the risks of street drugs. I remember one night when my mom rushed home, shaken after trying to resuscitate a classmate who had overdosed. It was a shocking reminder of the real dangers out there. I listened closely during attendance at school the following week, worried about who might be missing. After I earned my EMT certificate, my parents' stories became even more vivid. It was as if I had gained access to a secret vault of experiences. They prepared me for the worst things I could encounter on the job. I took their stories seriously and added some of my own over the years. Nothing seemed to faze me until my mom finally revealed a story she had kept hidden for years. She told me about her early days as a paramedic in a small hospital, nestled in the woods of northern New Jersey. The area is dense and dark, far from the bright lights of the city. Most people don't realize how isolated parts of the state can be. Her hospital was small, primarily serving urban areas but also remote regions where they relied on old medical complexes for paramedic quarters. Mom spent long, dark nights in a vacant mining hospital, surrounded by the eerie woods. Though the quarters were well furnished, the building had a haunting atmosphere. Initially, security guards were hired to patrol the area, but the paramedics quickly vetoed their presence after the guards disturbed their rest. So they learned to live with the unsettling silence of the empty halls. Months passed, and my mom grew accustomed to the building's eerie sounds. It was during one of those long shifts that she saw something strange. Unable to sleep due to the snoring of her partner and memories of a grim call, she crept into the bathroom for a quick wash. The hot water and soap soothed her, and she felt a moment of peace. After cleaning up, she stepped back into the main room, but a sudden noise caught her attention. The sound of running water. Confused, she went back to the bathroom only to find the sink running on its own. Initially dismissing it as a prank, she turned off the tap and returned to her bunk. But the sound returned, and this time she saw the faucet twist on its own. Fear shot through her, and she quickly washed her hands again, trying to shake the experience from her mind. Hours later, as dawn approached, her partner awoke to find her still staring at the bathroom, haunted by the night's events. She hesitated to share her experience with her fellow medics, fearing they'd think she was losing her mind. Only her partner Lauren would understand her apprehension about the supernatural. Their conversations about ghost stories were private, and Lauren often dismissed the idea that ghosts could manipulate objects. One night, while resting, Mom was jolted awake by a gruff voice that seemed to whisper right in her ear. Thinking it was a fellow medic, she shot upright but found the room empty. Confused, she brushed it off until the radio chirped. There was an emergency call. As time passed, the paramedics were redistributed to new units, but the memories of that old hospital lingered. They laughed about their experiences, but one night, while at a bar with security guards, they learned the shocking truth. The guards revealed they hadn't patrolled the building at all. They had,